If you need wisdom, if you need favor, if you need wealth, today is your day. This chapter 8 of Proverbs, is jam-packed with phenomenal promises and things to to be thinking about for your future. We've spent the last 3 days talking about the consequences of immoral behavior, immoral decisions, going down the wrong path, and the destruction that it brings. But this chapter is refreshing because it talks about all the things that are coming to you when you heed wisdom's instructions. So let's hop in. Thank you again for joining us. If you've been here all 8 days, thank you so much for following along. Love to get your comments. So please share what some of the nuggets and takeaways have been from the last couple of days. But let's get into some good news right now. So we're going to go through this in a couple of sections, just so we can do a little bit of deep dive and see some of the things that the Lord highlighted to me for us to think about. Does not wisdom cry out, and understanding lift up her voice? She takes her stand on the top of the high hill, besides the way where the paths meet. She cries out by the gates, at the entry of the city, at the entrance of the doors. To you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of men. O you simple ones, understand prudence, and you fools, be of an understanding heart. Listen, for I will speak of excellent things, and from the opening of my lips will come right things, for my mouth will speak truth. Wickedness is an abomination to my lips. All the words of my mouth are righteous. Nothing crooked or perverse is in them. They are all plain to him who understands. And write to those who find knowledge. Receive my instruction and not silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold, for wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things one may desire cannot be compared with her. So in this first section, a couple of things that really stood out to me. Again, and I think we mentioned this a few chapters ago, where wisdom cries out. That was in chapter 1. Wisdom is crying out. So we talked about yesterday and a couple of days before how the immoral woman, the enemy, really is seeking who she can capture when they cross her path. So she's out there lurking and waiting, and she uses her mouth to speak flattery, which really is to her own self-interest, where she is speaking things that are enticing to draw you into something that will eventually harm you. Well, we see that wisdom speaks as well. One of the things that actually is just coming to mind as I'm saying this, that we have an enemy, and the enemy doesn't create, he only counterfeits. And so anything that the Lord has set up that is for you, the enemy comes with something that looks almost like it, sounds almost like it, and it's a counterfeit. For instance, if you were to get a counterfeit $10 bill, right? It looks like a $10 bill. But until you use that black marker, or you look up and you see a little USA strip down the middle, you can't always tell. So sometimes the word actually is that black marker. That word is that little strip in the middle, really that shows us what is legitimate versus what is not. And wisdom is the legitimate version. Wisdom is the one who's speaking, who's crying out. And what's curious is where she stands. So she stands at crossroads where the paths meet. She cries out at the gates. She cries out at the entrance of the city and the entrance of the doors. And so to me, those wisdom is showing up at points of decision. So when you're at a crossroads, right, you have to go left or right. When you're at a gate, you have to go in or out. When you come to the entrance of a city, or you come to an entrance of a door, you have to make a decision. Am I going in, or am I going to remain where I am? And so that's a really key point to bring out, is that wisdom shows up wisdom is calling out for you at points of decision. So I want you to think about times in your life where you've had to decide, do I take this job or not? Do I move to this city or not? Do I make this investment or not? Or how much should I do versus how little should I do? All of those things that we have to make daily decisions about, wisdom is there to help to guide us. And she wants to be there at those times where we've got to make a decision. Wisdom also only speaks good things. So wisdom speaks excellent things, right things, truth, and righteousness, and nothing wicked, crooked, or perverse comes from her mouth. So when you are hearing the swirl, right? We have so many voices coming out through our phones, through our televisions, through our workplaces, through our communities. There's all these voices. And when it comes time to making a decision, you have to really be perceptive. What is true? What is righteous? What is excellent versus what is crooked, perverse, or wicked? So the immoral woman, right? The woman that's trying to draw our attention away from the Lord and away from right things. She uses flattery. She uses things that are half truths, where you only get pieces of information. You have to decide, is this something that is going to be integrous, right? Do I walk in integrity? Do I walk in excellence? Do I walk in righteousness as I'm making these decisions? Or what I'm being asked to do, or what is being brought to my attention, is something that is not transparent, that is not truthful, that is not something that's trustworthy, something that's going to cause somebody to lose on the other side. So those are things to think about when it comes to making decisions. What is the truth? What is full of integrity? And those are the things that you run towards versus running away from, because those will keep you off of the path of destruction. So we're going to go to, the other thing I want to mention is that when you are desiring, when you receive instruction and knowledge and wisdom, it is more valuable than money, right? So it gives the example of silver and gold and rubies. And those are they're very expensive. I don't know how much rubies cost right now, but I did look up the spot price of silver today at the time of this recording is $74.94. And gold is $4,448, the spot price today. So by the time you watch this, it probably will have increased. But wisdom, instruction, and knowledge are more valuable than that. And nothing can be compared to wisdom. So that says something. Like that's, what I just read, that's close to $5,000 right there. And anybody, we could use an extra $5,000. I don't care how much money you have. An extra $5,000 could do a lot. But if wisdom is more valuable, cannot be compared to that $5,000, what, shouldn't you desire that more? What is wisdom offering that silver, gold, and rubies cannot? And so that's something that I want you to to mull over as well. It is more valuable than those things. So if the Lord is saying that, there's a reason, and he always speaks the truth. We're going to go down to verse 12 through 21. I, wisdom, dwell with prudence and find out knowledge and discretion. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride and arrogance and the evil way, and the perverse mouth I hate. Counsel is mine and sound wisdom. I am understanding. I have strength. By me kings reign and rulers decree justice. By me princes rule and nobles, all the judges of the earth. I love those who love me, and those who seek me diligently will find me. Riches and honor are with me, enduring riches and righteousness. My fruit is better than gold, yes, than fine gold, and my revenue than choice silver. I traverse the way of righteousness in the midst of the paths of justice, that I may cause those who love me to inherit wealth, that I may fill their treasuries. What a powerful statement and promise. I'm going to go back to the top. Dwell. So it says we need to dwell with prudence, find out knowledge and discretion. Dwell means to live with, right? Think about the people that live in your house. They're with you all the time. You sleep there with them. You wake up with them. You eat with them. You watch TV with them. Like all those things. Think about prudence. Prudence is craftiness and shrewdness. So there is a passage in the word that says we should be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Why do you think that is? So a serpent kind of slithers. It goes undetected. It's watching. It waits. for the right time to pounce. And so on the positive side, we need to be crafty. We need to be watchful. We need to be cunning. We need to be decisive. We need to be discerning. And that word discretion actually is a word that means like devices or methods. So there's a passage in scripture that talks about not being don't be ignorant to the enemy's devices. It's the methods of operation, right? So we need to find out, or we need to attain knowledge and methods of operation or devices that will help us stay in right standing. And wisdom also goes along to help kings rule and reign. They cannot reign without wisdom. That's actually how this book was even born, because it came through Solomon. Solomon was an inexperienced king. He was David's son. He had not been in war. He had to rule this entire nation, and it was a very big calling, and he knew he needed more than what he could bring to the table. So when the Lord asked him in his dream, "What do you want?" He didn't ask for money. He didn't ask for stuff. He didn't ask for women. He didn't ask for conquering nations. He asked for wisdom so he could judge righteously. So all of us are called to be kings of this area of influence that the Lord has given us, whether that's our families, whether it's our businesses, whether it's our ministries or community organizations, whether it's our neighborhoods, right? We are called to lead. We are called to rule. We are called to reign. That's part of the mandate that we got in Genesis, right? In Genesis 1:28, be fruitful, multiply. We are to be sovereign over areas. And so when we are walking in our God-designed purpose, whatever that might be for each one of us, we need the ability to judge righteously. We need the ability to reign. We need the ability to rule correctly with what God's intentions are. And we can only do that through the operation of wisdom in our lives. It also talks about those who love wisdom will seek it. And wisdom, who is loved, will love back. Wisdom loves you back. And so it says that riches and honor are in wisdom. Enduring riches, not just riches today, right? I just make a couple dollars today, but long-standing legacy building wisdom. We'll go to our children's children, right? When we make wise decisions, it's a benefit. It is a blessing to those that come around us and that are coming behind us. And the fruit of wisdom is better than gold, silver, which we talked about just a moment ago, about how expensive those things are now, and they're going to continue to grow. Wisdom is more valuable than that. The fruit of making decisions with wisdom is more valuable than financial riches, but it brings financial riches. It even says that wisdom causes those who love her to inherit wealth, and that their treasuries would be full. So if you are in need a financial breakthrough, if you are in need of increased production in your business or in the work of your hands, you need wisdom in order to see the results that you desire. We're going to hop down to 22 through 31 now, which this is a really interesting passage too, and it really puts things in perspective. The Lord possessed me at the beginning of his way, meaning wisdom. Before his works of old, I have been established from everlasting. From the beginning, before there was ever an earth, when there were no depths, I was brought forth. When there was no foundation abounding with water, before the mountains were settled, before the hills, I was brought forth. While as yet he had been, he meaning the Lord, had not made the earth or fields or the primal dust of the world. When he prepared the heavens, I was there. He drew a circle on the face of the deep. When he established the clouds above, when he strengthened the fountains of the deep, when he assigned the seas its limit so that the waters would not transgress his command, he marked out from the foundations of the earth. Then I was beside him as a master craftsman. And I was daily his delight, rejoicing always before him, rejoicing in his inhabited world. And my delight was with the sons of men. That is powerful. Wisdom is a master craftsman. Let's think about when you build a house, right? You need a master craftsman that knows exactly what needs to go where, how many nails, how many cuts, what the length is. Like, wisdom was there at the beginning of time with the Lord. The Lord built everything that we see, the mountains, the seas, the trees, the fields, like all of the things. Wisdom was there. And if God used the craftsmanship of wisdom when he was creating the earth, he understood the value of wisdom, which is why he brought it forth. Don't you think it would behoove you as a builder with God to use the tools that he used, to use this master craftsman in the thing that he's put in your hands to do, whether that's building your family, building your business, building your technology, the things that you've got burning in your heart to build because the Lord needs it in the earth. You can't do it without wisdom. And so when you're thinking about the problems that you have, the solutions that you need to build, don't be so overwhelmed by the magnitude. But I encourage you to go for a walk. Go to a local park. Go on a hike. Go and look at the majesty that's all around us. Right? We are small in comparison to all the things that the Lord has made. And our problems are small when we go and look at the majesty of what he created and look for wisdom in those things. How did you do this, Lord? How can I adopt wisdom into my day to day so that I can build something great with you and for you? This'll minimize your problems and maximize what you have access to in the wisdom of God. And we're going to land the plane here with verse 32 through 36. Now, therefore, listen to me, my children, for blessed are those who keep my ways. Hear instruction and be wise and do not disdain it. Blessed is the man who listens to me, watching me daily at my gates, waiting at the posts of my doors, for whoever finds me finds life and obtains favor from the Lord. But he who sins against me wrongs his own soul. All those who hate me love death. That word blessed means happy in the Hebrew, are those who keeps wisdom's ways. Happy and blessed are those who listen, who watch, who wait, and who find wisdom, get the favor of the Lord. And so, everybody wants to be happy. The way to happiness, the way to blessing is through wisdom. So that is the cheat code to life. Get wisdom and get happy. And so the last thing I would say in this last line, he who sins against me, meaning wisdom, wrongs his own soul. Wisdom is more important than I think we give it credit for. It has to do with life, which is a couple verses ahead. It brings life. It brings favor. And it's connected to your soul, right? It is a deep principle that we need to get understanding about and the practical application, because there are long-term consequences or long-term benefits for adopting wisdom into our lives. And it says, all those who hate me love death. Now, I don't think anybody would say that they love death, but the thing that you love, the way that you find out what you love is exhibited in the behavior that you practice, right? So Jesus said, if you love me, you will keep my commandments. And so the converse of that is true. If you don't keep the commandments, that means you do not love him. Same principle here. If you love wisdom, you love life. If you hate wisdom, you love death. It's one or the other. And so I encourage you to seek diligently wisdom. So when you are at those crossroads, when you are at the gate of decision, look for wise counsel, look for wisdom, go into the word. God has given us the word as a pathway. It is a light unto our path. This is where wisdom is hidden. There are treasures here for us to find. Take Solomon's example. You need wisdom in order to do the things that God has created you to do. And the only way to do it, one, is to get deep into this word, get it into your soul, allow it to change your thinking and your mind. It will help you discern who you should be listening to, what you should be watching, what books you should be reading, who you should be in fellowship with, who are the people you need to avoid, all comes from diving into wisdom, and let wisdom dive into you. Blessings today. Thank you so much for joining us for day 8 in our Proverbs daily walkthrough. Would love to hear what you've gleaned, what you've taken away, what you're beginning to adopt, what the Lord is showing you in your quiet time as you go back through and read. Again, I encourage you to take a look at different translations and see what else jumps off the page. But if you need wealth, if you need provision, if you need multiplication, you need wisdom, and this is where it's at. I'll see you tomorrow.